Yesterday, residents of Gwarimpa district within the Federal Capital Territory FCT were thrown into panic when a two-story building commercial complex under construction collapsed. Eyewitness accounts of the incident reveals that workers on the site, especially laborers conveying blocks to the top of the building, were trapped in the rubble of the collapsed building. While there are conflicting reports on the number of fatalities and those rescued, the Gwarimpa incident is one of the many across the country in recent times. According to the Building Collapse Prevention Guild report, at least 61 buildings collapsed across the Nigerian states in 2022. Why has the country been witnessing an increase in the rate of building collapse in recent times? What is the cause or causes of the building collapse in Nigeria? These will form the crux of discussions tonight on Nigeria Today. I am your carrier, Clinton. Welcome to the program. Before we introduce our guests and, of course, begin the discussions, let's take the report from our correspondent, Abdul Salam Jibril, who was at the site of the incident earlier today.
It is a tense atmosphere here as efforts are still ongoing towards rescuing victims from the rubble of the building collapse in Gwarimpa district within the Federal Capital Territory. The site of the building collapse has been cordoned off, and the presence of ambulances, emergency response teams and security personnel shows the severity of the incident. This is Mukhtar, the brother to one of the victims of the collapsed building. He says fending for the family his brother left behind will be a major challenge.
My brother come here called do work. We never start to work, to do work, to I go to settle a family, make family start school. Never start to work.
My family with this.
My family with this. Never start to work. Now the house just for kill them, and they don't go bury up now. This last picking way bomb.
Some residents that witnessed the building collapse had this to say.
But thank God for the presence of some few persons. We were able to do as much as we can to rescue some persons before the equipment, excavators, came to site.
So for others that actually came outside, and we thank God for most of them that survived the incident. But we got there with some materials they used in building the place for all. They were not good materials. And
the same contractor that is actually in charge of this one is the same contractor that is in charge of that particular building you're seeing. And to be honest, we're even scared of that particular building because the whole material are actually inferior materials. So I think what they try to do is to manage the whole materials.
To speak on the Gwarimpa building collapse is Engineer Hadi Ibrahim, Deputy Director, Civil Development Control, FCT. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good evening.
Also here in the studio is Umar Shuaibu, Coordinator, Abuja Metropolitan Management Council. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
I'll start with you, Umar. I know you saw the report and I learned you have been on ground since the incident. What are your thoughts? What were your observations?
Yeah, we are used to all this type of challenges because we have what it takes in order to address all these challenges, being the management output of the city. We manage the city, and whenever we have all this type of distress calls, we quickly move to the scene. Our first priority is to save lives, because whenever there is any building collapse, people are trapped. So what we did, we muster all the necessary equipment, all the necessary machines. Those that we have, those that cannot reach the time or the place in good time, we have the construction companies in Abuja that are partnering with us in all activities. We quickly send messages to them and they all respond. They'll be responding to all our invitations in order to solve this type of problems. And we happy that we finished this operation in record time. We save lives. However, there are casualties.
Okay.
But we save as many as 21 lives, which we have brought them out alive. But we lost 3.
But were there fatalities, like
of course, that is the casualties. We lost 3 people in the robbers. But we saved 21 people alive.
Oh, so all those that are trapped
all those that are trapped, we started the operation. Right from the time the building collapsed, we spent about 30 hours there, non-stop, because people's lives are involved. So we did not stop. We sleep there and make sure that we lifted all the slabs from the second floor, third floor, second floor, and first floor slab up to the DPC level to make sure no person is left in the rubble. That's what we did. And at by 4 o'clock this evening, we reached the level and make sure nobody is there now. So that is the situation now.
No, that was very good on your part. But however, we do sympathize with the family of those that lost their lives during the collapse. But to you, Engineer Ibrahim, it's been a kind of recurring decimal when we usually have this collapse, not only in Abuja though, but around the country. So what, using this one as a kind of a case study, what is the immediate or the remote cause of the collapse?
Thank you. And let me start by equally sending my message of sympathy to the family of those they lost their members. The issue of collapse cut across so many things. If we are going to name it in figures, maybe up to 2,000 factors are responsible for a building to collapse. But the main thing is concrete ratios define these things, and we have cut off the standard that we use. In Nigeria, we adopted the British standard. For reinforced concrete structures like this is BS 8110. BS 8110 is not the only one. It only guides you on so many things that has to do with reinforced concrete. The minimum thing we consider in our office is minimum concrete strength grade 25 for a ratio of 1 to 2 to 4, which at 28 days must give you that strength of 25 Newton per millimeter square. If by any scientific test we get this value 1/3 of it, the building is supposed to be demolished. Not even on its own. We are supposed to demolish it. So this is one factor. This is one of the most important things to check. From our visual inspection of what happened yesterday, we saw that the concrete quality is poor. We saw that the reinforcement is inadequate. We saw that the spans are equally grossly too large for slender columns to carry. 230 by 230 columns for a 6 meter span. And our research shows that the owner wanted more spans and a critical structural element was tempered uncontrolled. That alone is enough to cause the collapse of the whole building. Other things are bar lapping. Reinforcement must be the same gauge. For a 3-story building, you expect to see something like Y16, Y20 reinforcement, but we're seeing less than 12. So many things are wrong. We didn't see something we call slump test. You understand? That shows you that it is a true slope. You see the presence of the stones, that's the fine and coarse aggregate. We didn't see all these things. You understand? And now there is this thing. Structural elements work together. That is to say, the slab cannot stay alone without the beam and the column and the foundation. They work together. So successive failure must have occurred for it to have dropped down like that. If not so, this type of failure is really not noticeable anywhere in the world. You understand?
But was there no professional on ground to notice all this earlier before now?
Yes, we learned that there was a professional, but that is subject to further investigation, which I think my senior here will explain more, because we are the managers, but that particular enclave is being monitored by FHA.
Okay. Now, you just heard all he reeled out. So I asked, was there no professional on ground to notice this before this incident occurred?
You see, in Abuja here, there are different authorities that are monitoring the development in these areas. The FCTY, it is the FCT administration, but that area is allocated to the FHA, Federal Housing Authority, in which they are also a federal authority. So they have their development control outfit for the monitoring and approving the building plan. So the standard which they operate is completely different from our own. So it is much less than the standard which we consider, first of all, in granting the building plan approval, because we subject all developers that submit their plans for approval to us. They must conduct the soil test, they must give us their engineering calculations, they must give us their environmental impact assessment report. While on our part, we consider the land use of that area to make sure that whatever they bring, the development, the load, the ground can carry the load of that development. So these are the procedure that will subject all developments in Abuja. There are many more. So if we give you approval, we make sure that when you commence your work, from the foundation, you will excavate. We come and inspect to make sure that based on whatever you approve is what you are digging, you are excavating to implement. When you establish the basket, the enforcement in the basket, and the first column that you raise, our professional, the team of professionals in which he's heading, will go and inspect the foundation footings and make sure it is in line with what we give you approval. If you are not in line, we stop the development ab initio in order to prevent something like this. So these are what we do in the development control of the FCT administration.
Okay.
So this, what we are going to subject whoever that has mandated this development to reach that level. Has all this procedure been observed? Has it been followed?
I was about asking that, but before you answer this question, we'll go on break now, and the program returns shortly. Please don't go away.
This is NTA News 24 broadcasting from Abuja. You can watch us anywhere, anytime on the following platforms.
Start Times Channel 101, Freak TV Channel 703, GSTV Channel 419, and GoTV Channel 46.
For more information, log on to our website www.nta.ng or join us on our social media handles, Facebook at NTA News 24.
For comments, suggestions and inquiries, send an email to news24@nta.gov.ng or call us on the following numbers.
NTA News 24.
News and more news.
Welcome back. This is Nigeria Today, and we are discussing the Gwarimpa building collapse. My guests are still with me. Umar, before we went on break, you were telling us a lot of processes that should be, that the developer should undergo before, commencing the building. So did they go through these processes?
That is what we have to investigate now. Now, we have finished the first aspect, that is saving lives. The next stage is going to be investigation, because we will not allow this type of things to happen again in the future. Not only the authority in charge, even the developer himself. Who is the developer using to supervise his work? Is he a qualified professional with current registration? If he is so, whatever he has done, contrary to his professional practice, the professional body is there to discipline such type of activity. So the professionals themselves are involved. The professional bodies, all of them were there. The NIBRI was there, the Korean was there, the ARCOM were there, the Standard Organization of Nigeria, all of them were there. Everybody is concerned, and everybody is going to do his bit to make sure that this never occurs. What usually happens is the developers themselves, they try to cut corners. They don't want to invest, they don't want to spend as much as to make their development to be sound. So in trying to cut corners, we are endangering lives. That is what always happens.
Engineer Ibrahim, it is so disheartening that we spring into action after losing a lot of lives, and a lot of people have been injured in the process. In the past 4 decades, we've recorded about 460 collapses, and even just like the introduction, 61 building collapse across the Nigerian state in 2022 alone. Are we not supposed to be proactive in this regard, in ensuring that the proper thing is done, so that we will not be recording, loss of lives from the same incident reoccurring year by year? So,
yes, thank you. It is true that building collapse did happen, but I can assure you from our record in Abuja, it has drastically reduced. Why? Because we preempt it before it goes up, we demolish ourselves. This is not our enclave. This is FHA. They have different standard than ours. You understand? So they are doing their own part. From history, what we know of even that is called green verge. You understand? It is waterlogged. What we excavated was basket meant for one floor. You understand? The columns are made for equally one floor, not commercial but residential. You understand? When you get a basket of that, you expect the soil test, if it's really done, to be something around 200 kilonewton per meter square. You understand? So that is not even the type of foundation that is supposed to be for a commercial building and on that type of soil. This alone, that's failure of foundation, automatically leads to failure of building. If they will learn from ours, it will have been removed earlier. This will have been saved. Not even on buildings like this, even buildings on floodplain, we removed. And we don't have issues of flooding last year. That was a credit to us because we removed early. So these are some of the things we are going to look at. Scientific investigations will equally go concurrently. Some of our consultants and so on have taken samples to testify and have some scientific evidence that will show that these things are really poor.
Omar, what can be done to avoid these kinds of incidents in future? Because it's becoming very, very worrisome.
You see, what we always do is to be very proactive. Like what we have done immediately we finish the operation, we focus our attention on the surrounding developments, those that are under construction, and including immediate neighboring plot, neighboring development to this one that collapsed. In which, if you look at the structure of this, in fact, some of the columns hit this house. Right now, what we do, we have now stopped any activity in that building. We are subjecting that building to investigation and other buildings around. And we have started conducting integrity tests. That is one that is very possible, because by looking at even the reinforcement from outside, you will see the size of the road are substandard. Where I expected to see iron 16, just the way I say, or iron 20, you are seeing iron 12 or less than iron 12. Meaning it doesn't have the strength to carry the load in which it is being made to carry. Even at the construction, talk less of when the building is being used. People are there using the building. So already we have sealed this development around that area now in order to prevent whatever could happen in the future like this one. So our attention has now been focused there. We are a superior authority in Abuja, and that is why we can now take action and make sure we prevent whatever is happening within that area now. And subsequently, we are going to invite the FHA to come on a round table to make sure that if they are not improving their standards, what step are we going to take in whatever development that is going to be taking place in housing? We know the powers that FCT administration has. FCT is both a federal ministry, at the same time have the power like a state. So we have the machines, the equipment, so much so that whatever we want to enforce, developers respect us more than what they can respect the monitoring officers in the housing authority, because they don't have the equipment, they don't have the machines that will make them to respect them if they serve enforcement notice. Anybody who serve enforcement notice, stop work, people must stop. If they do not stop, they know the consequences. But they know, yes, these people, they come back, but they cannot buy.
So what is the consequence? The
consequences is what we are seeing now. Whenever they serve enforcement notice, it's possible they have started a self-enforcement, but the developer didn't respect it. These are what we are going to investigate and make sure that either they do or did not do. So, first of all, we are now, our attention is focused around the immediate vicinity, and they will go to the wider level.
So after the investigation, will they be brought to book for those that are found guilty?
They will be brought to book. Presently, there are those that have made this type of, that committed this type of offense. As the engineer just said, it witnessed only one building collapse last year. And that was because, you know what happened during the COVID-19 era? The developers have their field days. Our monitoring officers are not coming because of the lockdown. So they lock themselves, bring machines, bring whatever they can do, and work in the night and days. By the time the lockdown is over, this development has reached a level which now we have been monitoring before it led to the collapse. That's the only one we had in 2022. To show you the level of monitoring that we do. That developer is under prosecution now. So whoever has committed this offense also, we are also going to subject to prosecution. If there is a professional involved, the professional body will definitely seize the license, the private license of that professional. That is how it's done. We are going to go deep into the matter and make sure we make the type of punishment that whoever committed an offense deserves.
Okay, now, Engineer Ibrahim, as much as we talk about professionals in the field, we also will not deny the fact that there are quacks.
Exactly.
Okay, so what is being done to clamp down on quacks in this field?
Yes, so many reforms are being put in place, particularly in our own unit. Like beside the building plan approval, which must be attached, you can't even submit without a professional. You on your own can submit for yourself. You understand? And whatever changes, we allow you. You have your building plan approved today, tomorrow you travel somewhere and come back with a new thing, fine. You can still apply through your professional and it will be vetted. By that process, you are not supposed to be working until the new resubmission is approved again. Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Well, that's it for Nigeria today. We appreciate our guests for their contribution. Engineer Hadi Ibrahim, Deputy Director, Civil Development Control, FCT. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And also, we had the Umar Shuaibu, Coordinator, Abuja Metropolitan Management Council. Thank you very much for your insight. And to our viewer, we say thank you very much for keeping tab with the program on NTA News 24 by 7:30 p.m. every weekday. You can also watch this and other episode on www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. I am your carrier, Clinton. Thank you for watching.